morning, everybody. My name is sethaimkwei. I am an independent distributor with Alliance in Motion Global, and I'm a member of the ACI Orion International team. I welcome you to this presentation on Alliance in Motion Global. In this presentation, I'm going to speak about the cash flow pattern of the rich and the poor. Let me start by bringing to your attention a common question that a lot of people ask. And the question is, where did all my money go? People ask this question because they don't understand how cash flow works. They don't really control their money. Rather, their money control them. Understanding the cash flow pattern, therefore, will help you answer this question: where did my money go? Now, it is important to understand what the cash flow means. I am not an accountant, and I do not intend to give the technical accountant's definition of cash flow. But what I will say for you to understand as a lay person is that cash flow refers simply to how cash flows in your hands. In other words, how do you get money and how do you use the money? How does money come to you? How does the money leave you? Simply put, that is cash flow. And we want to understand a little bit about how the poor people make money and lose money, and how rich people also make money and lose money. In other words, make money and use the money. First of all, let's talk about the poor. Poor people who struggle financially often say they live from hand to mouth, or they live from paycheck to paycheck. In other words, their very life depends upon the salary that they earn. Poor people make hardly enough money to pay their monthly expenses. They are hard workers. They work very hard. However, at the end of the month, they find out that their expenses are more than their income. Now, how does money come to the poor? So, the income of the poor is basically salary. That is why people who are earners of salary, in other words, employees, are the poorest people in the world, apart from people who are unemployed and they are not working at all. If we take out unemployed people, the poorest people after are employees. And so their income is mostly from salary. Now, what are their expenses? Because sometimes the way our tax system is structured, poor people usually suffer more from the burdens of taxation. So a lot of their income go into taxes. That is why most poor people always complain about the taxes that they pay to government, because their income is so small that taxes appear to take a large chunk of their salary away. So if you always complain about the taxes you pay, it is likely that you are poor. Now, they also pay a lot of rent. Why? Because most of them do not have properties of their own, so they rent houses or rooms, and so a large part of their income or salary go into the payment of rent. Most of them are always paying loans and also paying for credits. They want to buy television, they buy on credit. Refrigerators, they buy on credit. They want to buy a car, they buy on credit. They want to pay school fees, they go for loans. they are always using their income or salary to pay for loans or pay for credits, which is one of the ways they support themselves because the salary is woefully inadequate. So this is the cash flow of the poor. They make the salary and then they use it to pay for these things and many other more. And these usually are greater than the salary. So the salaries are less than the expenses. As a result, they do not have enough to even build assets. So the assets of the poor are almost none or nil. And because they take a lot of loans and credit, they rather have liabilities, which are obligations they have to pay to others. So this is the cash flow pattern of the poor. So in case you didn't know you are poor, if this is how you make your money, and most of your money go through this, and at the end of the month, you are almost always out of money. If your salary should delay for even a day or a week or at worst delay for 1 month, you are going to be in serious financial trouble. If you are like that, you are operating the pattern, cash flow pattern of the poor, meaning that you are poor. Now let's try to have a little understanding of the cash flow of the rich. Now we move on to the rich. And I have to say that the rich, most of the time, they think in terms of assets and income in the form of capital gains, dividends, rental income, residual income from businesses, and royalties. The rich are not people who are interested in salary. Even if for any reason they are earning salary, most of their life does not depend on their salary. So the income of the rich is not from salary. Or in other words, they do not depend on salary for their upkeep and the upkeep of their families and loved ones. So how do they make their income? I have almost said some. Rental income. Why? Because the rich are concerned about assets. And one of the assets that the rich invest in are buildings, real estate, and mostly not buildings that they are going to stay in. Because if you stay in a building, it really is not an asset. It's like a liability because you will invest in it, you will maintain it, you will renovate it regularly, you rather spend to maintain it. But it is when you rent it out to people that you can generate income from the building. So most of the rich people have buildings they have rented out to people, so they make rental income. In other words, they receive rent from their properties. They also receive dividends from businesses they have invested in. They also earn interest from investments that they have made. And they also earn royalties, among others. Now, what are their expenses? Their expenses usually are also taxes. But the difference between them and the poor is that because they are rich, taxes are not too much of a burden on them. Taxes do not take away most of their income as compared to the poor. And they also do some mortgage payments, because sometimes, because they invest in properties, they pick loans to invest in their properties. Now the difference between poor people and rich people going for loan is that when the poor people go for loan, most of the time they use it on consumables, things that do not earn them income. So they go for loan, spend it on liabilities. But when the rich go for loan, they go for loan to invest it in something that will generate income for them for a long time. So it doesn't take too long, they finish paying the loan and they have the property that keeps generating income for them. So they also have some loan, but they invest it to generate more money. Now the rich, because they are rich, make so much money, they now go into investing in assets. So as I've already mentioned, they have assets like real estate, that is buildings they have rented out. They also have stocks or shares from investment that they have made. And they also have sometimes intellectual properties like writers, musicians, and the others. So this is the cash flow pattern of the rich. And they also have some few liabilities like mortgage, as I have mentioned, because they mortgage, go for loan to invest in real estate to generate income. And sometimes they also have credit cards that they use. So the long and the short of this discussion is that the rich have sources of income that make them rich. In other words, that give them so much money that their expenses are very, very minimal compared to their expenses, to their income. Now, how can you transition from the region of the poor to the region of the rich? The people who are in the region of the rich, they see the world from the perspective of business owners and investors. They are business owners, or they look and build businesses. And so let's just quickly look at Mr. Kiyosaki's cash flow quadrant. The rich people are on the right side. They build business, build a system, employ people to work for them. When the people work for them, they generate so much money that now they begin to have excess, because as we saw, their expenses are very minimal compared to their income. So they always have excess income, and so they have no other choice than to become investors, thereby open more business, and then they make even more money. The poor are either employees, small business owners, self-employed, or specialists like doctors and nurses and pharmacists, accountants and lawyers. I do not intend to go in details because I've done previous presentations, several, on the cash flow quadrant. So you can go through my videos and pick those ones that talk about this and have more understanding. But to enjoy the cash flow pattern of the rich, you must make sure that you transition from the region of the poor to the region of the rich. How? Start a business. Traditional business is usually expensive. You need a lot of money to invest in buildings, offices, equipment, stock with goods and services. There are goods, to sell. And you must even employ people, pay bills, utility bills and other bills. Very expensive. But the good news is that there is a way with very little investment, less than $300. you can start to build a business that with time will grow to become a big business you can call your own, make so much money, have excess income. You now go into the arena of investment and even make more money for yourself. That system is the system of Alliance in Motion Global, or AIM Global for short. And in some countries, we have a smaller package, which is almost like half the cost. And so, with about $150 in some countries, you can join Alliance in Motion Global, start a business that will become a big business, have so much money, you now become a business owner and an investor together in Alliance in Motion Global. This is simply why I keep inviting you to the wonderful world of Alliance in Motion Global. Our marketing plan is part-time friendly because we give you no quota, no target, and we do no otoshi. Selling is not compulsory. So if you are so busy on your current job, you can still join. And because we have a strong team system where the team can help you, even if you are busy, team members can help you to run and grow your business. So if you are concerned about how you can move from the region of the poor to the region of the rich so that you also enjoy the cash flow pattern of the rich, join Alliance in Motion Global. That is all I can say for now. If you want to be rich, join Alliance in Motion Global. We will help you to be rich. So thank you very much for watching, and thank you very much for your time. You are welcome to the wonderful world of Alliance in Motion Global, where we turn ordinary people into extraordinary multi-billionaires. Happy Business Day.